The FIFA World Cup is about to change forever. In 2026, the biggest sporting event on the planet won't have 32 teams. It will have 48. That's right, 16 extra countries, more matches, more fans, more chaos. And if you're wondering how FIFA plans to squeeze 48 national teams into a single tournament without turning it into a football marathon, you're not alone. Because most fans have heard about the new format. But very few actually understand how it works. How do 48 teams fit into the World Cup? How many groups are there? How does qualification work? And why did FIFA decide to change something that already seemed to work perfectly? Well, in the next few minutes, we're going to make sense of all of it. And trust me, the reason FIFA expanded the World Cup is probably not what most people think. Let's start at the beginning. For nearly 3 decades, the World Cup followed a simple format. 32 teams, 8 groups, 4 teams in each group. The top 2 teams advanced. Then came the knockout rounds. Simple, easy. Even people who only watch football once every 4 years could understand it. So why change it? Well, according to FIFA, the answer is simple. More countries deserve a chance to play on football's biggest stage, and honestly, they have a point. Football is played in almost every country on Earth. But under the old system, only 32 nations could qualify. That meant a lot of countries never even got close to experiencing a World Cup. Imagine hosting the biggest party in the world and only inviting a small percentage of your friends. Eventually, somebody's going to ask for a bigger guest list. And that's exactly what happened. So FIFA increased the number of teams from 32 to 48. But here's where things get interesting. Adding 16 extra teams sounds easy. It isn't, because changing one number changes everything. Suddenly the old tournament structure no longer works. You can't just throw 16 extra teams into the competition and hope for the best. Well, you can, but it would be a complete mess. So FIFA needed a brand new format. And that's where the confusion begins. Let's talk about the group stage. Under the old format, there were 8 groups. Now there will be 12. 12 groups. Each group contains 4 teams. That means 48 teams divided into 12 groups. So far, so good. Every team still plays 3 matches. Just like before. No complicated math. No weird scheduling. Everything seems normal, at least for now. Because after the group stage comes the really confusing part. Who actually advances? In the old World Cup, it was simple. The top 2 teams from each group moved on. Done. Easy. But now there are 12 groups. If only the top 2 teams qualify, that's 24 teams. And 24 teams don't fit neatly into a knockout tournament. Think about it. Knockout competitions love powers of 2. Everything lines up perfectly. 24 is like trying to build a puzzle with pieces from 2 different boxes. It doesn't fit. So FIFA came up with a solution. The top 2 teams from each group automatically advance. That's 24 teams. Then the 8 best third-place teams also qualify. Now we have 32 teams. Problem solved, at least mathematically. This means finishing third doesn't automatically eliminate you anymore. And that's a huge change. A team could finish third in its group and still reach the knockout stage, which sounds generous. Because it is. In fact, 2/3 of all teams will advance from the group stage. That's a lot. Imagine a school exam where most students pass. That's basically what FIFA has done. But don't get too comfortable, because the knockout stage is where things become brutal. Once the tournament reaches 32 teams, everything becomes familiar again. Win your match, stay alive, lose your match. Book your flight home. There will be a round of 32, then a round of 16, quarterfinals, semifinals, and finally the World Cup final. Simple. But notice something important. There's now an extra knockout round. That means teams have to survive one additional elimination game to become champions. And that creates more opportunities for surprises. Because football is weird. The better team doesn't always win. Sometimes one lucky goal changes everything. Sometimes a goalkeeper turns into a superhero. Sometimes a favorite gets knocked out by a team nobody expected. You know the type. Every World Cup has at least one, and with more teams participating, the chances of shocking upsets become even higher.